So, you want to learn how to duplicate almost every consumable item in the game. You want to gain unlimited souls? And with that unlimited power? Stay tuned, I'm going to show you. Praise the sun, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Winter. Well, even though Dark Souls 1 made me scream out of rage, broke my tiny little heart, killed me over and over and over again, it would always have a very special place in my heart. And because of that, I'm going to share a few secrets with you. For example, did you know that you can duplicate almost every consumable item in a game without quote-unquote cheating? Well, even though this technique is called duping, short for duplicating, you do not really duplicate the item, but use it without consuming it. And there are two ways to do so. The first one I'm going to call prompt duping, and the second one frame duping. And now I'm going to show you how these work, so listen closely, I'm not going to repeat myself. The first one, prompt duping, only works with items that you can set on your item quick slot bar and have a yes or no prompt when you activate them. This one is a rather easy technique, but you still want to practice it a few times. And to do so, you should get yourself a male character, a armor set that gives you middle or fat roll, and an item to duplicate, let's say a homeward bone. So here is what you want to do. Set the item that you want to duplicate on your quick slot bar, trigger a roll, wait for about 3 to 4 frames or till a character's feet has left the ground, hit the X button or the item use button on the controller and then immediately start. Now you have the usage of the homeward bone stored, and if you would leave the start menu now, it will trigger the prompt return to the last bonfire, but this is not what we want to do right now. So go to your inventory, select your Estus flask and use it. The game will still ask you return to the last bonfire, but now that you use the Estus flask, the mechanics behind that has changed a little bit. If you answer this prompt with yes, the game will use the homeward bone, get the effect of the homeward bone, but consume Estus charge. But it will still work if you don't have any Estus charges left. But if this prompt doesn't show up and instead your character chucks from the Estus flask, that means it didn't work and your timing was off a little bit. So try again. By the way, if you use DS Fix, and your game is set to 60 frames, you will probably shut it back to 30 frames, just for practicing purposes. And that's all for prompt duping. Yes, it is actually as simple as that. And you can use it with every item that has a yes or no prompt. For example, you can use a Firekeeper soul and get yourself unlimited humanity. Or, you could just use boss souls and totally break the game. Well, take this one with a grain of salt, but I heard from a few fellow Dark Souls players that this trick won't work if you have a female character, or it would only work if you hold your weapon in one hand or in two hands, but I tried it myself and I had no problem pulling it off. Maybe the timing is a little bit different, but just to be sure, take a male character and have fun with it. And you know what? You don't even have to use a middle or fat roll to pull this off. A fast roll will do just fine. But you have to be a bit more precise on the X button. But in fact, you actually don't even need to roll. An attack animation will do just fine. For beginners, I recommend a heavy and slow weapon. And one last thing, if you for whatever reason don't actually have a Estus flask, you can use a Dark Sign instead. So now that we pretty much broke the game, let's take it one step further with frame duping. Frame duping is a pretty difficult thing to pull off. I was trying it 2 evenings in a row and I got it to work 3 times, so yeah. But if you get it done, you can use every consumable item in the game that doesn't have a yes or no prompt for an unlimited amount of times. For example, I know it works with normal souls, like Souls of a Great Hero and such, even though I never got it to work. I got it to work though with Humanity, with Blood Red Moss Clump and with Throwing Daggers. And here is what you want to do. Get the item that you want to duplicate on your quick slot bar. Make sure you have this item only once, otherwise it won't work. And then use the item. And at the very last frame of the animation, or the last frame the icon is still shown in a quick slot bar, press the item button again. If you done it correctly, the item will vanish from a quick slot bar, but will still be used another time, even though you don't possess that item anymore. And if you now press the X button again on the very same frame, the item will be used again and again and again and again. Depending on the item that you use, you seem to have different time windows to actually pull it off. But it's pretty much always between 1 and 3 frames, which means at 30 frames a second, you have a time window of approximately 0.066 seconds to pull it off. So yes, good luck pulling that off consistently. But it is a fun thing to try, and if you get it done, you really earned yourself that extra humanity. Well, that's all the information I got on duplicating items. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have any more questions about duping or have more information that I didn't cover in this video, please type them down below in the comments. And I will see you in the next video, so keep praising the sun.